So I wanted to share with you a personal experience that I had in becoming vegan and reflecting back on myself before that time. It hasn't been that long. I think I've been a vegan for maybe a month, a couple of weeks. So these are very fresh in my mind, things that I just wanted to share. And it's interesting, especially since it is all very fresh in my mind, and I do still remember what it was like being an omnivore. And so it makes it kind of fun as far as a learning experience for me. So here's what's happened is I made a meal that I had normally made using pork, and it was basically somewhat like a red bean stew, kind of like a chili, just not the same seasonings. So it had a lot of the red kidney beans in it, onions, garlic, really good. And I always used to put in, if I didn't have a lot of pork, I at least would put in the bones. So you can kind of get an idea. It was like a smoky stew sort of thing. And it was just poor man's food. It was just whatever I had. And back then my mentality is that, you know, you had the meat because that was a part of the food groups that the FDA says that you're supposed to have. So I was just scrounging. If I didn't have much, throw it in anyway because, hey, you quote unquote need it. So that was the meal. So I made it again, only now as a vegan with no pork. And I went to taste it, you know, because you want to see if your seasonings are right. And it scared me because I immediately thought, crap, there's pork in this. But I just made it myself. I know there isn't any. And it dawned on me that I was associating that meal with the meat that was no longer in it. So in my mind, when I was tasting the red beans and the seasoning, I immediately was thinking of the pork that used to be in it, and it was not. So I'm in a way tasting something that doesn't exist. And so it really made me question my idea of what good food tastes like. And it really made me wonder, am I really associating the taste of meat with everything else that goes with it? For example, chicken. If I were to just plainly steam chicken for you, you'd be like, it's okay. Kind of, you know, it's chicken, doesn't really taste like much. But if it's herbed chicken, if it has rosemary and it has a little garlic oil, you taste the herbs and you say, oh, this is really good. That's what I'm getting at. My association with meat was really the combination of other flavors that accompanied it. So basically that's what it came down to. And I know everyone out there who is an omnivore, you have had a steak that was not good. I have had a steak where I felt totally robbed, where I said, you know what, I don't know why I am paying $15 for this thing. Ridiculous. So I have been, even in the height of my meat eating days, I have been totally let down by meat. So everyone needs to stop praising it so much. You have to admit, we do a lot to it to make it palatable. Don't forget. We do a lot of freaking marinating. We do a lot of seasoning. Everybody has their own thing. It is a religion. I'm not even going to say practically. It is a religion in certain parts of this country. The preparation of meat to make it palatable. And it's just funny when I look back and I think about it. And here I am eating this meal, thinking to myself, wow, if I didn't know any better, I would swear the pork was in here, but it was not. And I was not missing it at all. Granted, all of my meat cravings are gone at this point. After the first 2 weeks, I'm estimating, I don't know if it was exactly 2 weeks, but after a little bit of time, that completely went away. Before that time, I would still kind of be like, I could kind of go for a burger, or I could kind of, you're kind of thinking about it. It doesn't even cross my mind anymore. In fact, I'm so excited about all of my new cooking ingredients because I love to cook. I'm trying to find new combinations of things that I never had before, because in the past I was so concerned with the meat that was the centerpiece that I really wasn't concerned about the side dishes at all, and they seemed to be the same thing every time, which is why the vegetables were never all that exciting, because I didn't really put any time and effort into them. All of the effort was going into the meat because it really demanded effort. It really demanded my time and my energy, especially when you're trying to eat lean, you're trying to eat healthy. You know, you don't want to fry it. You know, you don't want to do too much to it. But the marinating, for one thing, was a great way of adding flavor to an otherwise dry and not very palatable meat without adding the fat. But now I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to deal with the raw chicken, which is always a pain in the ass. I don't know anyone who loves it. Oh, I can't wait to stick my hands in there and, you know, and then scrub my fingernails hoping that I got it all and I'm not going to put my fingers in my mouth later and get E. coli. You know, it's no longer a thought anymore. And I used to cook all of my chicken in one big batch because I didn't want to have to keep touching it often. I wanted to have it already pre-cooked in the freezer, so when I needed it, I could just pull out of the freezer and it was done. So already it was a pain for me, and I really didn't think of it that way because it was a necessity in a way. So I put that effort to the back burner and said, yeah, I know, but I need it. Now that I realize I don't need it, I say, wow, what an awful waste of time. I could have been doing other things with myself instead of screwing around with that. So it's just interesting on the perception and how we think of food and our taste, and coming to realize that what I associate with food is not at all what I thought it was. And I know for a lot of people it's scary. For those of you who are making the switch, I will suggest to you that you make one-pot meals vegan first. So you're not looking at what's in it. Why do I say that? Because, for example, if you were to have everything spread out on the plate very nice, you're immediately going to be looking for the meat because it's built in already. It's part of how you've grown up. The first thing you do is you're going to look for the meat. Because, hey, you know, the food pyramid says it's there and you better see it. So when you don't see it, you start to panic and you're thinking, where is it? I need it. I don't see it. So you know what? Don't even set yourself up for it. You don't need it. As long as you have the right combinations of food, it's actually better. So all the more reason. But there's something about having everything arranged out on the plate and not seeing that thing you're used to seeing. It'll freak you out. And I did it to myself, and I kind of went, oh, you know, well, I'll eat it and see how I feel. You know, it was weird. Even though I had eaten, you know, when I didn't have money, I've eaten plenty of times a vegetarian chili, just because, hey, you know what? I'm not running out to the store to get ground beef. I'm just not doing it, and I don't have it, so, oh well. It's just a visual thing. It's a mind game that you play with yourself. That's what it really is. It sounds silly, but it's really strong. It's a strong feeling, and I completely understand why people are afraid of it, because it's habit and it's instinctive at this point. You're looking for this one ingredient and you're not going to see it. And you need to learn how to get over that. It's not going to be there. But if you empower yourself with the right nutritional information, if you empower yourself and say, yes, but I have a complete protein here. I have everything I need. Plus, in addition to all of the antioxidants that are going with what's in here. So you just have to have the information. If you do not have the information, you're going to get scared and you're not going to go through with it. You're going to freak out and you're going to go back to your old ways. So you really have to have the nutritional facts in hand to back yourself up and say, no, this is balanced. This is exactly what I need, even though it's not what the government says it should be. And again, it's not, the government's bad. I don't want to make a blanket statement. It's bad because of corporate influence. So it's really a two-part deal here. But I don't want you fully entrusting in it. So the lesson here is arm yourself to make your own damn decision. Don't let anybody else make that decision for you. I don't care if it's the government, I don't care if it's your best friend, it doesn't matter. Because I'm not even going to demonize anyone. You know what? No one makes that decision for you. It's your body, you decide for yourself. Just make sure that you have the ammunition you need. Make sure you've got your information so that when opposition shows up, you are armed. You can defend yourself and say, no, I know what I'm doing, no thank you. Instead of letting everyone else convince you of what you should be doing to your body. So that, you know what, in the end, if it screws you up, and you can say, oh, well, you know, the FDA said, and oh, well, you know, this is what the media said. No. What were you thinking? What do you say? Because it's you. So do your own research, stop with the garbage. I know everybody's busy. I'm doing my best to put together a website so it's very easy, very quick to get the information you need without having to read all of the scientific journals. They're there for you if you really have the time, but you don't have to. So there are ways of finding out what you need to know on the quick. And I know it can be difficult because I've been there. But don't let that be your excuse. Don't let that be the one thing that holds you back. And then you muddle through your life unhappy with your weight, unhappy with the drugs you have to take, and unhappy with the money that you pay for healthcare. You don't have to have it. Healthcare, you know, this whole system is modern. You know, people have lived long, full lives without it. You know, this is our giant Band-Aid in society. It's a giant Band-Aid that we've had to slap on everything because it doesn't work. We're so sick, we're so malnourished that we've had to set up this system to try and save ourselves, and even then it's a poor way of doing it, and it's so costly. It really is. I mean, if everyone took charge of their diet, this country would save so much money. So much money. I mean, granted, pharmaceutical companies would be suffering. But, you know, there are other countries that have made the switch, in Europe, for instance, where the government helped those farmers and said, hey, I know you're a dairy farm, and you know what, dairy's not so good for you, so here, take this grant money, and you can use it so long as you start growing blueberries. And that way you're helping the American people without hurting them. And then they won't have to get together with like the Cattlemen's Association and these big buku legal gorillas to try and fight against you. So you're not fighting everyone. You're saying, hey, listen, this information is out there. It's scientific. It's proven. We know it. So you know what? Here, we're going to invest in you to start making this country better. We're going to need more of this and this and this. So pick one of those you want. Here's the grant that goes with it. Use that money to rebuild your life. And so, you know, so you can support your family and you're not stuck with all these cattle that no one wants. And then you have to spend all this money on marketing to make everyone want it again. So again, the garbage that we have going on with information stems from that. You have information that proves this stuff is really bad for our health. Nature only intended it for survival situations, and we are far from a survival situation. So nature only intended it and said, hey, you know what? I know it's not a good food source for you, but you know what? If you're starving, please eat it. You know, please kill something else so that you live, because it's all about living in this world. I don't care if you're Darwinian or religious, it doesn't matter. God doesn't want you to commit suicide or die, and neither does Mother Nature. They both want you to live. So again, we are using a food that is a survival situation only as a anytime food. Hey, you know, I'm busy, I'm just gonna eat a burger, or I'm driving by, I think I'll go grab some chicken nuggets. It's just, no, that's not what it's made for. It's not at all what it's for, especially as intelligent as we are. We know what pain and suffering is on a spiritual level, and yet we feed into it every day and then tell ourselves that we're victims of the system. You're not a victim. You can be empowered. You can change. You have full ability to, and once you do that, once you see the change, you will look back at yourself and say, wow, I don't know what my problem was. I really don't understand why I took so long to do this. And that's what it comes down to. Fear is huge. Well, this country knows it. We know all about the power of fear. We really do. Our government uses it. Corporate appeal uses it all the time. Fear is huge. And we need to get over it. We need to recognize what it is and say, listen, here are my facts. I'm going to stick to that. I know this is good for me. I know that other thing is not good for me. And there's plenty of evidence if you look for it. Of course, the beneficiaries, those that sell it, don't want you to know for the obvious reason. I mean, if you made a product that all of a sudden scientists found out was actually killing you, if you were a good person, you'd drop your product. You would invent something else. But if you had everything invested in it, you would try to save it and find every possible means of making it look good. And that's what they do. It's business as usual in this country, and that's the way that it works. So, and not to demonize anyone, but recognize what it is. These people make money off of this product, which is animals, and they're going to defend it. It's the same with a puppy mill. These people make a profit. The minute another life form becomes a source of income, you no longer care about that life form. You just don't. And anyone on the outside looking in will look at these people and say, what is wrong with you? These are puppies. You're a terrible person. But they're so far beyond that point. It doesn't even occur to them anymore. They just look at you like, this is how I live. This is my lifestyle. This is how I feed myself. So for them, it's already survival mode. It's already a necessity that they do it. And they've already put any feelings that they had about it emotional and put them so far back into their minds that they don't even think about it anymore. And this happens with every aspect of the animal industry. Whether it be puppy mills or slaughterhouses, it doesn't matter. There are people in the system who care, and that's how we get the hidden camera videos to show us what's actually going on. There are people who, need a job, they sign up for the job, and then they realize what the job really is, and they're horrified. And so they come to work with a hidden camera in between, in their shirt, between the buttons, and they record it and post it online for everyone to see. So there are people within the system who maybe are in a bad situation. They need the job, they need the money, but they recognize, wow, this is not what I signed up for. And that's different, but don't feed into it. You're not a victim. You're a powerful individual when you have the ammunition you need. Unfortunately, we are all unarmed, and you need to arm yourself and get the right information you need. And then you'll have no problem. And then at least you'll be able to help others do the same.